It's Todd. And so I know I'm getting a lot of flack sometimes from people saying, hey, you're just wasting parts left and right and chopping things up. But before I show you what I did at the parts that were chopped up, let's go ahead and take a look one more time at this dragon from the video I just had on there. And you can see now it is stuck on there really nice. I used some poster putty and stuff, and even the triangle piece is in there. And that triangle piece, where I got it from, was I literally just cut off the bottom of this symbol here that I had already chopped off. And I took acetone and cleared off the red paint because this just came down a little triangle point, and this fits in there so nicely. It worked really good. So about the extra parts left over, as you guys saw, I was chopping this thing up, doing all kinds of stuff with it. And I just wanted to have people rest assured that this is going to be used for another figure. So it's not a complete waste. In fact, it's going to actually work better for the figure that I planned to, that I actually had this one on originally. Oh man. So let me show you. This is kind of a funny story. Let me tell you this story. So this is Ninjor. When he was on Earth. Earthling Ninjor. But then he got pulled through the portal from Skeletor. And when he got pulled through the portal, he became an evil Ninjor, which is why he has the evil feet and the evil hands. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And then, of course, at some point in time, he got the magic in order to become the Dragon Ninja. Bum, 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 which is that guy right there. So that is kind of what my storyline is. This is him before he was pulled through the portal by Skeletor. And this is him after he's pulled through the port of Skeletor, which is why he has the evil legs and the evil hands. And this is what he can become with the dragon up power of the Dragon Ninja. So that is his Pokemon evolution. There you go. He evolved from human to, I hate to use this word, but demon-like, I guess, because that's what Skeletor's supposed to be, to dragon form. And then the other figure that you saw featured in the short animation is Slamurai. And I decided to have Slamurai also have magical powers. And he says something to the effect, what did he say in the video? What was it? I invoked the power of Slamurai or something. And once he invokes the power of Slamurai, bum, 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 then he gets his Slamurai powers instead of looking like a ninja, which is kind of funny. It's from the Samurai He-Man, the sword and the boots. And then these parts here are from the Beast Man, and his head underneath there is actually the Rock, which his eyes line up perfectly. So it's kind of cool. If you can see the eyes are not in there. There it is. So kind of cool. Yes, I think the Slamurai can be cool. Now, granted, I did not like when they called him Slamurai dressed like this, because he's really a ninja. He should have been White Ninja or, I don't know, Snow Ninja. I don't know. He's not a samurai. But like this, he is definitely a samurai, which is why I put all those parts on him. The Samurai He-Man parts and the Beast Man. I got another Beast Man laying around. I think he's near the room right now. And then, of course, as you guys know, I've been working on Mosquitor, which brings us to my Origins Mosquitor. So, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I am not going to waste any parts if I can help it. Let's see. Masterverse needs to do a blast attack. Oh, yeah. Hello, Todd. Back to videos. Yep, back to videos. Hey, Master Far. Thanks for joining us. So, here's what I'm thinking. Is last time he had the black armor on the top from Hordak, and it went over his blood bank here, so you couldn't see the cool oozing blood. So I've decided to turn on some extra lights here. Boop, to use this just like that, and check it out. Now that it's been cut out, it actually fits over and still has his blood showing. And being his head so big, his head actually holds the shoulder pads in place so they don't come flying off. I don't need all the extra straps. So no glue required, and you can still get to that button to push, because it's made of rubber, not hard plastic like the black one. So now I have to decide the wings. Now I do have these wings here, which I could use, which I used last time, and they were pretty cool and such. But I kind of don't just want to use these wings because I really like the purple wings. And I happen to have some purple wings left over from my custom the other night. Oh, let's see if they fit. Fit. A little bit of struggle. You can get him in there. Look at that. And being he's a smaller figure, that works quite nicely. Now these wings are from a Transformer figure. I forgot his name, but somebody mentioned it the other day in the video we were watching, or that I made. But look at that. Look at that. Oh, bzzz. I mean, it fit. They fit nice. That is so cool. And I'm so glad too, because I bought the Transformer figure and then just pretty much resold them without the wings. And now I can still do the blood pump. And he's got cool little shoulder pads, and they're silver, so they match his motif already instead of the black. And you can still see his chest. So I did not waste any. Well, I guess I didn't use these wings right here, but I'm sure I'll use them somewhere else sometime, someplace. And that is pretty much it. Let me check out your guys' comments. Looks good. Thank you. The blood pumpers, yes, the vintage one did work amazingly well. I like the G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes, and Shadow Storm. Yes. I always pretend that same way too. But it's funny is it switched because the white guy is the good guy and the black one is the bad guy. But, you know, Ninjor's so cool looking. I wouldn't even mind having him as a good guy. Science Metallic, he's more of a mercenary type character, so he's not like just the total servitude of Skeletor. And you think about it, when he was like this on Earth, what was his allegiance? Was he evil, or was he just a ninja, just taking orders? So you could have the storyline being, even though he's turned to, you know, has the evil legs and evil hands, he eventually can break out of Skeletor's spell and go back to the good guy he was on Earth, if you wanted to. But I used to love watching Jake Long, I think that was his name, American Dragon. And so when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, Dragon up. It's just, yeah, it's just so I used to watch it with my youngest son all the time. And so this just adds to that lore. And of course, I gave him the hands from the Dragon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2. So to make this figure, it did take 3 parts. It took the regular Ninjor, the the Turtles of Grayskull Ninjor, and then it also took the Winged Hordak in order to give him his upper shoulder pads and his cool black lined red wings. So there you go. 3-figure custom. Well worth it though. I am loving that figure. All right. I think that is about it. Let me check your guys' comments because I've been chatting and talking. I'm going to buy a classic Mosquitor figure and do the same thing. Just not paint the wings. That's okay. You don't need to paint the wings. The pink wings will work just fine. I just really like the deep dark purple wings. I think it just looks really cool. I wish these were bigger. If they were, I would have used those. But since they're not bigger, then it seemed weird to have small wings on that big giant figure over there. Because look at the size difference of these figures. I mean, they are quite a bit different in size. And so those little wings just did not do it. Even for this guy, they just barely does it. But I think it was like from Waspinator or something. I don't know what was the guy it was from. Oop, dropping parts. It's a bummer. I got to figure out a way to take this apart. And I know it sounds funny, but I really want to remake the blood in clear red instead of solid red like how it looks there. I think it'll look way better. So I'm hoping I can get it apart, get that red out of there, and remake it with a clear red. I think it'll look way better. I think on the box art it shows it clear. Hold on a second. Yeah, check it out. On the box art, so I can figure out this new tripod. go. On the box art, sure enough, you can see that it is clear red on there, which would have been way cooler to have that clear red instead of solid red. Mattel, what were you thinking? It's funny, they do a lot of things like that. Even the wings are clear purple, which would have looked really cool too. That's like I was just looking at the other day. I was complaining to my wife because she likes to listen to me complain about my figures. I got this toy over here from the Micronauts collection, and they have clear purple wings on it. Let me show you. This is what I imagine these wings would look like on this guy. Hold on. Now they are kind of dusty. Dusty. But if they would have made the wings look like these, this purple clear color, that would have totally rocked for Mosquitor. I mean, I would have loved that. Now I don't know if I can find, and when I was a kid, I had one of these toys and the wings snapped right in this spot, so I'm always really careful with this one. And but that would be cool to have that clear purple color. They also have it in the front cockpit up here too. But that would have been so cool if they would have had that color for his wings. That would have totally rocked. I don't know, maybe I'll look for some clear purple resin that's strong. All right, let me check out your guys' final comments. I keep saying that. What is that? That is let's see, it's a Hornetron, a Hornetron, I think, or something like that. It's from the Micronaut collection. And when I was a kid, Micronauts were my favorite. They were the coolest toys around. And they had like bug-like creatures and aliens. And they had clear action figures. They had guys that were held together with magnets. They also had an elephant named Terrafint or something like that. And I never got him. I wanted him though. He'd been cool. Yeah, it was a really cool toy line. It was before Transformers. It was before G.I. Joe. Well, it was before the 3 1/4-inch G.I. Joe. Because they had the 12-inch G.I. Joe already, but not the smaller G.I. Joe. And it was made by the Megacorp. And they actually made like Dukes of Hazzard figures too, with the O-ring and stuff. It was kind of cool. They were the original O-ring figures. All right, anyway. You can see He-Man standing out here. He's just waiting to say his line. Oh, okay. Nice. Yes, the Micronauts were my thing. It's funny. When I was a kid, I had just one. I only had one time traveler. I think he might have been blue. Maybe he was orange. I don't remember. It's so long ago. And that was my first Micronaut I had. And I used to tell everybody I'm playing Micronauts. And I pull out my Lego and make all kinds of cool things. And those small little dowel pieces they have in Lego, that's one height high. It has a hole in the middle. And you could pull off the Micronauts' hands and stick their wrists into it. So I'd make these flying devices that were kind of basically a bunch of flat pieces and put those on there. Like they could stick their hands in there and control it. It was kind of cool. And people were like, you're not really playing Micronauts. You only have one. I said, dude, I'm playing Micronauts. All I need is one. But later on, I got more and more as time went on. And my brother bought me most of them. And it was so cool. Every Christmas, he'd buy me some more. And I remember I got the city eventually and the rocket tubes, and it was a blast. Sometime I'll tell you the whole story. I don't know why I didn't have them. I was born in 73. Yeah, I was born before you, dude. That's probably why. Well, the Masterverse waist armor fit on classics. Which waist armor for which figure? So let me know which figure you're talking about. See if I have it. And then if it's made of rubber, you can always make it fit. But if it's like for his size, it won't fit. For his size, it probably would with a little bit of stretching. Because these guys' waists are smaller, just slightly, I believe, than the classics. Mosquitor. Oh, you mean pulling this off and putting on classics? Yeah, you could do that. It'd be a lot of effort. The easiest way, as you know, is to snap the figure in half and sand around it, and then just put it over the top of this like a belt. That's the way I would do it. I literally just put it right over the top. Another way is to heat it up and take it apart. This is actually two pieces here. If you take a look, the belt is one piece and the shorts are another. And I wouldn't worry so much about the shorts unless you really want them. But if you try to pull them off the old-fashioned way, you're going to end up ruining one of the pieces because they're just layered on there so tight. Because when they put it together, they can easily access it and they slide it all together and they put the figure together and snap, crackle, pop, and it's together. But when you take it apart, it's not that easy. You have to break apart the seams in order to get it apart correctly. But if you can get around to breaking the seams, whew, here is the long way around. You need to snap the seam on the torso here first, which has been welded. And then you have to snap the torso down here. And then once you snap both of those, you then have access to the pin that goes up into the body. Then you can slide these both off without any damage. But if you're planning on just using this and scrapping the figure, heat it up and snap it. I've done it to figures before. It's a pain. You got to be very careful because you can cause damage to the parts you want to keep. But that's the easiest way to save the parts from not getting ruined. I know when I did my New Adventures He-Man, one I snapped and one I pulled off. New Adventures He-Man only had one piece. I didn't have to pull off both. I was just going for the belt. And so it was really easy. But I would suggest taking the belt off first, pulling it all the way over. It's going to be really hard to get over this rubber because it's bigger, especially over his butt area. But then you may stretch it out by doing that. And then next, take off the loincloth, which is a little softer rubber here. But the best idea is just snap them in half. Grab them, lots of hot water, and crack. And if that doesn't work, grab some channel locks, hook on right here, and then crack it off in half. And that should do the trick. And I know it's a waste of a figure, but if you really want that loincloth and don't want it damaged, that's the way to do it. Do not cut the loincloth. Do not cut it. Yes, Twistoid and Rotar have detachable waist. That's correct. So does Extendar and I can't think of his name now. King Hiss. They also have their waist come apart, but very few of them come apart. Yep. And again, after you get it off, you're just going to take and sand all around it. You've seen it in other videos where I've done that. So all this material up on top here, you're just going to sand it down so it's just a belt, and then you're just going to take and stretch it over the top of this and just put it right on top of his belt. And just leave his belt alone. Don't mess with the original Origins figure. You don't want to mess it up. That's a lot of effort, though. You know what? I was just thinking, I don't need to pull this apart. I was going to carefully pull it apart and everything else. I could just remake it. And just take and just layer the pieces up myself. With the clear blood in there. And the clear piece over the top or something. That could be kind of cool. I'll figure something out. It's just driving me crazy. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird the way they designed it. All right, let me check the final comments. I've been on here way too long. Can you pull off the parts for the Horde? I don't think the Horde Troopers come apart with classics. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think the Horde Troopers come apart for classics. They are one solid piece. Yep. There is another one though. Oh, it's the shoulders that come off. We had a figure that used the same body as Trapjaw. It's the guy with the eyeball for New Adventures. For Masterverse. Oh yeah. Yes, the Masterverse ones do come apart at the waist. I found out the hard way one time. But they're so big compared to everything else, you really can't do a lot of swapping. But I was just talking classics. Oh. Yes, his arms come off too. You can pull them all apart so you can leave debris behind as you blow them up. So basically, you can rip them apart in all different ways. But I'm not going to pull mine apart, but they do come apart. I've yanked the arms off before to do stuff. And of course, I have my cool little head in there. That way mine's a robot and not a humanoid in there. You think about it, that's pretty gross. If it was a humanoid and you're taking and throwing the parts off them and breaking off their arms and stuff, it's like, that's pretty violent, man. Well, heck, since we're here, oh, I can't turn off the lights. I have to tell my phone to turn off the lights, and I can't do it while I'm doing a live stream. I was going to make the eyes glow. So we can get some glowing going on in there. As you can kind of see him glowing inside there. Brrr. All right. Yes, they are very cool. And I bought 3 of them, as you guys know, just so I could have these cool giant. They are part of my Monsters of the Universe. Their waists are kind of loosey-goosey, though. But they are cool. And they come with a sword. And like I said, I really did not like their weird little heads they came with. So as you guys know, I made my own. And the red glows and the yellow glows. And I took out the glass on the inside so you can see the eyes glowing. You could see them glowing through there, but you couldn't charge it through there. Uh-oh, what did Charles say? Let's take a look. Sorry, Charles, wasn't paying attention. Oh, thanks, Chris. Nice. Todd, I'm going to get baptized. Nice. Excellent, Charles. All right. Anyway, I think this is the end of my stream. I just wanted to show that armor did not go to waste. It went to good use for this guy here. And it looks pretty cool on him. And so even though I was doing a lot of cutting and slicing and dicing, I think it all worked out well to save the most amount of parts as possible and still use them for other endeavors. So that was cool. Burp. All right, and Charles, again, congratulations. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. I gotta tighten my new tripod. I just got a brand new tripod, and I'll show you guys if it doesn't turn off the stream. See, it's really cool. It's nice and small. Before I had a big old footprint of a tripod, and it's super short, and then it has this bendy neck on it. And then my light's right on top. So I can turn my light off and on. And then my phone just goes right into that little piece right there. But sometimes it stops the stream when I put it in there. So the stream stops, you know what happened. And there we go. It didn't stop. Hooray! So that is my new tripod. It's like 18 bucks. Hooray! All right. Until next time, you guys. Good journey. Thanks for joining me. And if you did enjoy this video or any others, do share. And if you didn't see the video today earlier, I put a video out showing all the intros, including the intro from the video earlier tonight. And it's kind of cool. Again, you want to sit down and watch it. If you sit down, it's not one of those things just watch passing by. And it is kind of cool. It's all the intros, all the music, all the cool stuff. All right. Thanks for joining me. And we'll see you guys next video. 7 foot tall decoration is so cool. Oh, wow. You got a 7 foot tall Darth Vader, huh? Nice. Excellent. You know what'd be funny? Oh, it'd be so cool, man. Someone should take the Darth Vader or some other 7 foot tall Halloween item and make a Galactus out of it. Because that's about the right size, probably, for small action figures that have a 7-foot tall Galactus. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe it's a bit much, but that would be cool. All right. Sorry, I digress. Until next time, you guys. Oh, you're blurry, man. Good journey. It's also animated. Nice. I bet you that costs quite a bit. Bye now.